healing session, and I had 2 journeys at the same time while this was happening. It almost felt like the physical body had a journey on its own, and while that was happening, I was traveling in the ethers with Metatron. So
who is this?
well, I didn't know then. It was a black entity, human form, but it didn't have any shape of sort, like no hair. It was just like the shadow of it, kind of thing.
Right.
That's the best way to describe it. And it had a light or white aura around it. So invite me or pull me, grab my hand and pull me out to travel with him. It was definitely male energy. And I asked who was him. That's how I found out it was Metatron. And I also asked, what are you going to show me, or what is next? It was inherent in the question. It wasn't using my words, but I did feel like I was asking what? Do you want me to close the windows?
No.
Okay. So as I was traveling, I kept. So my recollection of what was happening, it was at 2 different levels. Like I knew what was happening with my body, and I left it in charge to my unconscious mind. And it said, take care of the body. Like it will be fine. And then on the other hand, I just allow myself to travel and leave that journey. At the physical level, I kept feeling like energy was coming out of me, like beams of energy coming out of my hands and feet in a less intensity. And then I felt like energy coming out of my body being flown away from my body, and then some other entities that to me I can relate with, like angelic beings.
Right.
2 of them coming in, one smaller and one bigger one, and the small one was just playing around in the environment, and then the other one was closer to me and really, really white, bright, beautiful lights. At a physical experience also, my body was hot, was getting hotter, but from the back to the front, almost like, again, energy. But this one wasn't beaming, it was just floating, like but it was my own energy. It wasn't something
Right.
different or out of my body. Then I felt I started coughing. I don't know at what point, but the message associated to it was let it go. So it kind of made sense that I was coughing at that time. But that was all at a physical level. Then going to the spiritual level, I was traveling, and I kept asking, what are you going to show me, or show me? It was almost like an order, which I'm surprised how I felt entitled to ask.
Was this when you were flying through the air?
Yes, yeah. And I cannot give it a name. It was in the sky. It was in heaven. I cannot find what it looked like. Didn't feel like it matches with any of those words or labels. So it almost feels safe to say the nothingness. That's it. So I asked, and I was shown a baby in a cradle, in a wood cradle. And I was told it was the light. And I became part of the baby. And the mom grabbed me and held me and cuddled me. And that was shown to me as pure love. And the mom was light and bright and pure love herself. It was truly beautiful, which if I come down to look at what my body was feeling, it was really chaotic with the cough and the movement and the heat, and it was really opposite. And I continued the journey to say, what else can you show me? And we went to the house that I recognize as my dreamed house, and it was beautiful. It was even better than my vision, that what I actually picture. So this picture was even brighter and lighter, and the ocean was just gorgeous. And I was told that it's there for me. I just need to allow it to happen, or take it almost. And next was, so this is kind of the message. I keep saying I was being told, but everything was inherent in the energy exchange. So I feel like I didn't use words, but I could put it into words. So it was about my power, embracing my power. And everything I needed was in me. I just needed to use it, or like take action, work it, be willing to put the work in action, kind of thing, like do it. So I said, okay, I take it, almost like, you have the power, take it, okay, take it. So it was like that intensity of it. Okay, it's mine, I take it. So that was beautiful. And then I asked for more, and vaguely the sense of public recognition of something. It wasn't clear if it was me, the message, what I was doing, or something publicly was being recognized. So yes, like it was safe, but it was like it's recognized, it's public now, it's like it's mainstream. So almost like now that I'm saying it, it's almost like not to worry, it's safe, which makes sense with all this, energy work that we're doing. Yes. And then the other part in between the two was that I was being shown what was healing. So I started with my chest, even though I got a cough and it felt annoying, and like my body was like totally moving every time I coughed. It was healing happening, like, yeah. So it was showing my chest. Then something with my DNA that I could understand it was my DNA, and this is a knowing. It didn't have words. It had location, like shown, pointed in my body, and then the DNA came as this is what's happening, as a communication. I wasn't being told, like words were not used, but it was the vision in that situation. And so these bubbles, or these balls of something, it was all black and white and grays, all different shadows, and there was red and blue, but I cannot make sense of it. But it came up as being my DNA, so that kind of the level of healing. And then the third stage of healing was my uterus, and I felt it in the body. Yeah. So I always wondered why, or looking for confirmations, or is it really happening? And I think that's what got to me this time. I've been shown what was happening, so I could, because I asked before, right. So maybe this was a perfect time for me to see it. So I think that's related to that.
Great. And what did that really feel, as if you were awake and alive when it was happening?
I was aware, and I could say that I consciously remember, but my body was still doing its thing,
right,
and my spirit was still traveling. So that, I don't know, like it doesn't have a conscious explanation of how it happened.
Right.
So
is there any particular reason why you think it was shown to you now?
Maybe I was ready. I asked enough.
Okay. And so how would you characterize the Reconnective Energy Healing?
Before I get there, the fact that this is my second reconnective healing session might be an answer to the previous question of why now.
Right.
I'm relieving energy. I feel energy. I feel I can handle or work with energy. So being the second session might be still opening more and more.
So tell me about the first session.
The first session, I was instructed not to use my knowledge or ways of handling energy, and I did that, and it was wonderful, and I connected with myself. It was peaceful. I felt it was really opposite to all the activity that I felt this session. That one was, I connected with my inner peace. My body went into trance or full relaxation immediately. The unusual experience was to feel like a glass in front of me, and then I kept pushing and pushing, and I could see through. There was nothing, but the nothingness meant something, like it was something.
Right.
Even though it showed as nothingness, which is, I recognize it as the nothingness where I traveled through this session. That glass became the days after, or the week after, became a membrane where I could play with, and it was elastic, and eventually I crossed over. But during the session, it was just a hard glass that I couldn't push.
Okay, so the effect of the first session continued through during your life? Afterwards.
Yes, like the daily life. I believe so, because nothing else happened.
Right.
I continue my own work, but I never set the intention to cross the glass. Like, it didn't occur to me. So it happened on its own in one of my meditations.
So did the membrane reintroduce itself in this session?
This session, yeah, that's where I was pulled through.
And describe how you pulled through.
So so I was playing with it.
The membrane.
With the membrane, yes. I was playing with the membrane.
So just to establish it, so it started off as a glass that you couldn't penetrate, then it became a membrane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that was between sessions.
Right.
This session, when I was focusing on my breath to avoid connecting with other kind of energies that I normally work with, the membrane came up again, and I was playing with it. My intention wasn't to cross it or anything. I literally didn't have any intentions. I didn't have an agenda for it, let's say.
How did you play with it?
Just pushing and like sticking my hand out and bringing it in, and it was very childlike play. It was just nice being there. So I was there, and one of my times that I stick my hand out, this entity comes and pulls me, and he said, "No, yes, you're coming with me," and so on. That was happening until he said, "You're coming with me." Like, there was no doubt that I was going in the trouble. So I turned around and I said to the body, "You will be safe, you will be fine. Unconscious mind, please take care of the body." And I knew the unconscious mind knew what to do. So I literally left with no guilt or anything, any second thoughts.
Right.
I was doubtful of this entity because it was dark. It was black. No, I shouldn't say dark, but black. And it had a human-like shape, but didn't have a shape. Like, it didn't have eyes and ears, and it was like a shadow.
Right.
And it had a white aura to it. So, but it felt trust, that I could trust it.
Right.
The doubt was at the beginning, because I'm like, why, you dark thing, are you taking me? You know, this understanding of dark things are bad. So this one wasn't bad. Yeah.
That's terrific. Anything else you'd like to add?
My experience of this polarity of chaos and peace all at the same time, I don't know what to do with it. It's like, really, did that really happen?
that was when you were coughing as the chaos.
Yeah, and everything in the body felt chaotic at a party level. Plus, I had this dark, small, I don't even know how to describe it. This dark thing, just like air, dark air, as a cloud leaving. And then I saw an octopus too. So all that level was like, whoa. And my journey felt really peaceful. Really peaceful. So at some point I was contemplating the situation, thinking, well, this is peace and chaos at the same time, and yet it's all happening together. And it felt like forever. It didn't feel like it was a time limited experience. It was like time wasn't present. So yeah, it's beautiful.